So I'm sure all of us have heard of SMART goals before. It's an acronym, stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and then timely. Now there's a couple different variations of this, but that's really the kind of the gist of it. So where do SMART goals come from? So back in 1981, George Doran actually published in the journal called Management Review. And in there, he outlined this objective way of looking at goals so that you were able to accomplish them a little bit easier. But I can't help but think back to 1981 and where we are right now and how times have changed. Yet, in almost every job I have had, this comes up constantly. And I think it's about time we reinvent things a little bit. In fact, there's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear where he talks about we don't rise to the level of our goals. We actually fall to the level of our systems. And I think that's a fantastic way of looking at it. When we think about people that are in some sort of a race, these people all have the same goal, right? They have a goal to win. But it's not who has the better goal at that point, it's who has the better systems in place. And so that's where we have to think about what are the systems that we need to be putting in place in order for us to achieve more of our successes out there. Not necessarily achieve goals, but achieve more of our successes. So let's think back to the SMART goal. So why is a SMART goal not really that helpful? Well, there's a lot of different views on how SMART goals are made. I have seen several people actually write things down for each of the acronym. So for each thing, so what is it specific? Yes, it's specific, it does this. Is it realistic? Is it timely? Things of that nature. But realistically, when you think about a SMART goal, you're thinking about the goal and then you're asking yourself, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? Is it timely? And if you could say yes to those things, then you have a SMART goal. But again, like that doesn't really help you out in the end. Doing those identifications really doesn't make it a better goal or make you more successful in that goal. In fact, when you think about a SMART goal, you've not even identified anything that you're doing or those systems that James Clear talked about. You're not thinking about those systems that need to be put in place in order for you to be successful in those. So what do we do in place of this SMART goal? First off, let's talk about your professional career. When we think about professional careers, there is a lot of people that put this SMART theory into place when it comes to achieving some sort of a metric. And that's where they think that that metric is meeting all of the criteria of the SMART goal. So you want to be more efficient, so you want to reduce handle time, you want to reduce something in your business or increase it, whatever is better, right? And so that's where people put this into place. But realistically, it doesn't help in those situations because we haven't really identified anything. For those of you that don't know what Goodhart's Law is, it talks about how when you make a metric, a target, it ceases to be a good goal because all you're doing at that point is forcing all of your efforts into reaching that specific point. And the problem with that is a lot of people get into this mentality of being able to achieve that at whatever costs there is. And a lot of times that could be leading to unethical behaviors. And that's the last thing you want to be able to do. You want to be able to achieve these results by putting in place some strong actions, things that you're doing at the core that make you successful in that area. So this type of mentality isn't just for leaders out there, it is for everybody. I believe that it's important for people to be able to create their own objectives. What do they want to accomplish? Not necessarily handing those things down. I think a lot of times when those types of situations where you're handing down goals or you're handing down objectives, the tough thing is that you don't have the buy-in of the people below you. And I truly think when you're trying to achieve results or you're trying to achieve any sort of an accomplishment, especially in a business environment, you want to be able to be talking to those people that are closest to the problem. When you talk to the people that are closest to the problem, chances are they're going to already have ideas on what can be put into place in order to fix it or to make things better, whatever the case may be. But a lot of times that doesn't happen. A lot of times those things are being handed down from people that are way disconnected from the problem. And when you're that far disconnected from the problem, chances are you're just kind of throwing darts at a dartboard. Maybe this will stick, maybe this will work, let's try it out. And you don't get the buy-in from the people below. And that is where those things tend to fail. So what systems can we put into place? So when you think about what you want to achieve, I think that's a good starting point. What is it that you want to accomplish? Let's put it there. Then think about who is impacted by me accomplishing these things, or who will be impacted by moving forward in this direction. That's an important piece because you want to be able to include other people in this idea so that you can accomplish it. Another thing to be thinking about is, what are the things that are going to be blocking you? What is happening that could potentially get in your way from accomplishing those things? A really big one is, whose help are you going to need? It is ridiculous to think that we're able to achieve all of our goals by ourselves. It's not to say that you aren't the driving force of your accomplishments, but there are people out there that are good or great in certain areas that you may not be yet. And so you want to be able to lean on those people to be able to help you along the way. And then finally think about, like, what are the other constraints? Like, what are some of the other things that maybe you haven't thought about? And this is where it's not only good to be thinking about it yourself, but let's talk about it with other people. And talking to those people or talking to the people around you can really help you open up your mind a little bit more, because you may think that you're going in a specific direction, but by hearing thoughts and opinions from other people, you end up going in a completely opposite direction because of the insights that you've had. And that is invaluable. This type of outlook can help you out in several different ways. Not only does it help you out from thinking strategically, long-term successes, but it can also help you kind of in the moment. You can go through this process very, very quickly to identify avenues that you can go through to be able to achieve quick wins. And I think those quick wins are really going to help you along the way. Not only does it keep you motivated, but it allows you to be able to see, are we making progress? Are we seeing vital changes to the things that we want to see changed? Or is there something that's stopping us from continuing forward? And then again, we reevaluate. It's not to say that you have to stop every single time to reevaluate, but I think it's good measures when you have these small wins in place to be able to say, like, are we going in the direction that we need to? Or should I really kind of stop right now and maybe reevaluate what things need to happen next? So what about your personal life? This methodology can absolutely help you in that capacity too. So when you're thinking about what you want to accomplish, it could be a lot of different things. It could be weight loss. It could be achieving a career goal. It could be moving into maybe a different career avenue. It could be learning a new trait. It could be learning a new skill. It could be a lot of different things. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, think about what you want to accomplish from this. That is your end result, or that is your kind of North Star that you're looking at. It doesn't mean that that's your goal. That's just something you're kind of pointing towards. That's your compass. So when you have that in the mind, whatever that may be, then you might think about, well, what is it that you're going to need in order to accomplish that? So if you're thinking about maybe a career change, maybe I want to get into programming. Well, what is it that I need to understand first? You may have to think about, what is the language I want to learn? And when we think about coding or programming languages, you may have to learn 3 or 4 different programming languages in order to get to that point. That's something you have to think about. And that's where good research can kind of come into play. What are the tools necessary in order for me to accomplish that? So what about weight loss? Weight loss can absolutely be a personal goal. I want to be able to lose 30 pounds. Now, this is where I've talked to many people about personal goals when it comes to like a number goal. What else could potentially be happening on my journey to lose weight? You sleep better. You are more active. You have better moods. There are a lot of different things that happen when you're achieving those results. And so you can't always hinge on just that scale. You step on that scale, you didn't lose a lot of weight. What happens? You get discouraged. You don't want to do it anymore. You think, you know what? I'm going for that chocolate bar tonight. That's where you have to be thinking about other avenues. I'm not losing weight currently in this day, but I feel great. I feel energetic. I feel happy. That's the motivation that's going to keep you moving on. The other thing to think about is, where are you going to get these skills from? This is the day and age where information is very plentiful. There are so many different avenues that you can take in order to explore and learn different things. And that's exciting. And that's where you have to be thinking about, what is it that you need to do? Is this a video I can watch on YouTube? Is this something where I need to go back to school and maybe learn or get a degree? Do I need to seek out some sort of apprenticeship program? Maybe. Who knows? And then also kind of what we talked about with the professional side of things, who can help you along the way? This is absolutely a great avenue. There are people that have probably already done the thing that you wanted to do. And sometimes it's just about leaning into those resources to get help from them or get advice from them. Yes, there are avenues out there that are a pay to win type of situation, right? Masterclass, things of that nature, where you can pay X amount of money in order to get some sort of expert advice. I'm not saying that those avenues aren't the right way to go, but I can't tell you the amount of times that I've looked at the comments on videos that really impacted my life, And I found people that have talked about their experiences, and I've reached out to them and say, hey, share me a little bit more about these experiences. What were some of the pitfalls you had? What were some of the excesses? What were some of the things that really drove you? They are wanting to share these things. And by them sharing it, you're able to learn from actual events that can help you along the way. Those are going to be absolutely beneficial when it comes to your success and your own personal goals. One of the things that I really wanted to do several years ago was get better with Excel. I had seen some really cool spreadsheets being made, and I became an extremely big Excel nerd. I love it. I love Excel. I think it's fantastic. It's such a powerful tool. But I really wanted to get better with it. And so what did I do in order to meet that? The biggest thing that I found that helped me out was just looking at what I wanted to accomplish in Excel and then going onto the web and just searching out what it is that I wanted to accomplish. You would not believe the amount of resources that are out there that will teach you the formulas, the functions, things of that nature that allow you to do those things. I actually became really proficient, and I became more valuable in the company that I worked for, which really excited me. It really drove a lot of motivation on my own part to be able to learn a skill that I personally put myself through and to see other people around me be able to benefit from it. And it was interesting to me because as I was going through this journey, I had a lot of people coming up to me and asking if I was able to teach them how to do Excel. And it's funny how proficient I was in Excel. I really couldn't necessarily teach it. And it wasn't that I didn't know how to teach. It was because the things that I had learned along the way were because I was trying to solve a problem and I knew how to find the resource. And so what I gave to them was not the information. I let them know, hey, if you get stuck in any capacity, I am more than happy to jump in and help you out. But what I would suggest doing is looking at what you want to create or what you want to do in Excel and look to see if you can find resources on your own that will help you learn that. And it's interesting too because there are books about Excel, like how to do things in Excel, but that's not a program that you can just go from start to end. Yes, you can learn the basics. Yes, you can learn the advanced pieces of it, but it doesn't mean you have to do that start to end type of capacity. And I've used this in so many different areas of my own personal life too, when it comes to graphic design, when it comes to motion graphics, video editing, things of that nature, all self-taught, not just by doing the program itself, but looking at YouTube videos. And again, like I could go through Photoshop and learn the different tools and learn the different menu items and things of that nature. But no offense, that's boring to me. I will fall asleep. I won't do it. I just won't. I think above all else, what you really want to do is have your long-term successes, but think about your short-term wins. What are some short-term wins that you can do that will aid you in your long-term successes? It's not just about achieving that big thing. I'm fine for working towards that big thing, but it's not always about achieving that big thing. I think what you're going to find along the way is that maybe your thoughts or opinions about that long-term goal may change, and you may not want to go after that long-term success. And so by setting up those short-term wins, you're able to kind of gauge your motivation, your inspiration, all the things that are going to go into that long-term success and be able to decide, is this something I still want to pursue? And that's where that quote from James Clear really comes in. We shouldn't be thinking about rising to the level of our goals, but thinking about what systems do I have in place that could stop me from achieving the things that I want to accomplish. And it is a lot about where that motivation comes from. Again, motivation is great, but are you disciplined enough to keep that motivation alive? Continue to push yourself to the goals that you want to be able to succeed. I think we all have the capability of reaching so much in our own lives. It's just about the discipline that we put into place that allows you to achieve those successes. And again, there are people out there, you may not think so right now, but there are people out there that want to help you. Channels like this that allow you to learn different sets of skills without having to pay into it. I want everyone to be able to succeed. And if I can help you in any capacity, please reach out. I want to make that happen for you. Thanks again for watching. I hope you were able to take away some good information today, thinking about where your own systems are. What are the things that you have to put into place to make you successful? Think about what you want to do. Reach out to the people like myself to be able to help you achieve those goals. I want to make it happen for you. Do you want to make it happen for yourself? Thanks again. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Remember, elevating yourself to the next level starts with just a single step. Make that step today. Thanks again.